we need to understand that the organization need to embrace the various breakthroughs for becoming a fully committed to the gender intelligence. Now, the first important aspect, which it starts with the transformation, that will begin with the leadership. Now, gender equality and diversity cannot be mandate given to the HR, and it is not the becoming the out of a sense of duty, compliance, or for the sake of appearance. So, if leaders do not embrace the gender diversity and as having a strategic value, then companies will not see a sustainable change. So, a company's leader must initiate the shift in its ethos by becoming a personally educated about the gender differences and treating equality as a strategic priority, promoting the presence of men and women in all situations, and self-directing assumptions and behavior that inhibit the diversity of thought. Another very important aspect is that we should not be a number driven. So basically, simply meeting the quotas or percentage gives companies the impression that they have done something about the gender sensitivity, but they tend to obscure the high cost of turnover of the female employees. It's been seen by the organization and has been researched that most of the organization, the men tends to leave companies for better position and high income. Comparatively, the women, they tend to leave because they feel the contributions are consistently ignored or dismissed. So the companies need to discover and they need to identify what are the efforts has been put in by the male and a female, and they should bridge the professional gaps, and they should be identifying what was the main reason of leaving the organization. And another important aspect is meritocracy is not enough. So many leaders believe their companies are very gender intelligent because all employees are evaluated by the same standards and advancement is purely meritocratic. What can be difficult to see are the ways which advancement is male modeled and how evaluations are phrased in a way that describe how a man would exhibit a particular competency. Now, for instance, thinking strategically will most likely manifest itself very differently in a female versus a male executive. Now, there is a science to our differences also, which has been observed that the companies need to understand that there are fundamental, wired differences between men and a woman and embraces those as a complementary and equally valuable. Now, it is not just about a woman. Too often the organization focus solely on the woman initiative. Now, this tends to further isolate women and alienate men who see the initiatives as giving women preferential treatment. So, gender intelligence can only be achieved through the conversation and participation of both the genders. The another aspect is in this is the fear of stereotyping block progress, which is continuing. So most people are aware of and experience gender differences but are too afraid to discuss them for fear of being labeled as discriminatory or stereotypical. So gender intelligence creates a space for a discussion of differences, not stereotyping, that assign value to both male and female style. So in my opinion, we need to, the organization and we trainers need to help them realize and visualize that where they are on the journey to the gender intelligence, and highlights discrepancies between how men and women rate their current states. If you really want to know more about gender intelligence, please log into my blog, that is anubhavalia.wordpress.com, and you can give your comments and thoughts to it. Thank you so much.